Imagine Daniel living in a world where writing in a diary is considered a crime against the state. George Orwell's 1984 painted this dystopian future over 70 years ago, and somehow it feels more relevant than ever.
That's fascinating, Pappy, because the book wasn't just predicting surveillance technology, it was warning us about how power structures can manipulate reality itself.
You know what's really striking about Winston Smith's character? He's not trying to be a hero. He's just an ordinary guy working at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is literally to rewrite history. Every day, he alters newspapers and photographs to match whatever the party claims is reality.
The psychological toll of that work must be enormous. Imagine knowing you're actively participating in erasing truth day after day.
And that's what makes his rebellion so human. It starts with just tiny acts of defiance, such as writing in a diary, keeping a small paperweight, and holding on to memories that don't match the party's version of events.
Speaking of rebellion, let's discuss how Julia approaches it differently. She's not interested in grand ideological resistance like Winston is.
Exactly, Julia's rebellion is purely practical. She breaks rules because she wants to live fully, not because she's trying to change the system. She's found these little pockets of freedom within the oppression, and that's enough for her. It's actually a more sustainable form of resistance in some ways.
That's what makes their relationship so compelling. They're united in rebellion, but coming at it from entirely different angles.
And the party understands this danger perfectly, Daniel. That's why room 101 is so terrifying. It's not just about breaking people physically, it's about breaking their capacity to love, to think independently, to maintain any sense of self outside the party's control.
The rats, Pappy, that scene still gives me nightmares. But what's really chilling is how O'Brien explains it. It's not just about making Winston obey, it's about completely reforming his mind.
O'Brien's character is fascinating because he represents the intellectual face of the party. He's not just some brutal torturer, he's a sophisticated thinker who can articulate the party's philosophy. When he explains that the party seeks power not for any greater good, but purely for its own sake, that's one of the most disturbing moments in literature.
And the way they use language as a tool of control, Newspeak isn't just about simplifying language, it's about making specific thoughts literally impossible to express.
That's right. By eliminating words like freedom or justice, they're eliminating the very concepts from people's minds. And then there's doublethink, the ability to believe two contradictory things simultaneously. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. These aren't just slogans, they're tools for breaking down rational thought.
So, what do you think makes this book feel so relevant today?
Consider how information is manipulated in our digital age. We're not living in Oceania, but we're dealing with deep fakes, alternative facts, and social media echo chambers. The party's techniques for controlling reality aren't so different from what we see happening now, just more sophisticated.
Though I'd argue we still have something the citizens of Oceania don't: the ability to recognize and resist these manipulations.
That's true, and maybe that's why the book remains so powerful. It's not just a warning about totalitarianism, it's a guide to recognizing how truth can be manipulated. When Winston writes, freedom is the freedom to say that 2 plus 2 makes 4, he's talking about holding on to objective reality in the face of pressure to conform.
And that's becoming increasingly important in our world of competing narratives and alternative facts.
The book's enduring relevance is also about how technology enables control. The telescreens that watch everyone aren't so different from our smartphones and smart speakers, tools that can monitor us while also feeding us carefully curated information.
Though, unlike in the book, we voluntarily carry these devices and share our data.
And that's what makes Orwell's vision so prescient. He understood that the real danger isn't just overt control, it's getting people to participate in their own surveillance and manipulation. The party's genius was making people internalize its power, just like we've internalized our relationship with modern technology.
That's a chilling parallel. So, what's the takeaway for us today?
I think it's about remaining vigilant, Pappy, not just against external control, but against the subtle ways our thoughts and perceptions can be shaped. The book's final scene, in which Winston finally comes to love Big Brother, reminds us that no one is immune to manipulation. The key is to stay aware, to keep questioning, and to hold on to our capacity for independent thought.
And perhaps most importantly, Daniel, to remember that protecting our ability to think freely and know what's true isn't just important, it's essential to remaining human.